My studio burning to the ground? Or maybe signing a bad deal costing me tens of thousands of dollars in missed out royalties? No, none of those is my biggest fear. Hello, my name is Adam Hessebom. I am a composer and a musician. I'm based in Malmö, Sweden, and on this channel I talk about my life in music, how I make music and manage my music business. And if you're new here, consider subscribing because I upload new videos like this every week. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about something personal. I'm going to talk about what I consider to be my biggest fear as a composer and how it's actually holding me back at times. I think the most common question I get at parties or social gatherings is, aren't you afraid AI is going to take your job away? And sure, generative AI is worrying a lot of creatives, me included, but it's not my biggest fear. Neither is it me not making enough money to be sustainable, or my career, stagnating before it has even taken off, or even not ever getting a breakthrough. I mean, sure, all of these things worry me from time to time, but it's not my biggest fear as a composer. My biggest fear is actually getting a job. Sounds weird, right? Let me rephrase. My biggest fear is getting a job on the wrong assumptions. I go on this channel every week and I introduce myself every week by saying, "Hi, I'm a composer." But if you look me up on IMDb, you will see that I am not there. I have no IMDb credits because the projects I have worked on they're just too small to be on IMDb. Now, I write music all the time, so therefore I must be a composer. And from time to time, I even get paid to do it, so that means that I am a professional composer. But when I go to business events or festivals, and I introduce myself, I say that I'm a composer, and people, they might ask me, have you done anything that I have heard? And the answer is probably not. And this makes me feel a little bit embarrassed, and it has even gotten to the point where I try to downplay my own experience just to not come across as something that I'm not. I think I'm afraid that others think that what I have done matter. And I think this is what is holding me back. Because I fear that someone will hire me on the assumption that I am more experienced than I am, only to discover that I'm not. I fear being exposed. What if anyone finds out? What if they uncover the truth about me? What if they realize that I am not a real composer because my music has not been heard in a film, receiving a wide cinematic release? It has not been heard on television or broadcast or streaming. The feelings I experience is what is commonly referred to as imposter syndrome. You feel like an imposter in the field of work that you do, and you fear that anyone else is gonna expose you. But if you suffer from imposter syndrome, it's important to remember that these fears are irrational. You doubt your skills, your talent, your accomplishments, but if you look at it objectively, there's no reason to do that. So I think the cure for this is to actually look at what you have accomplished, what you have done, what you know, your skills, your knowledge, and be frank about it. So if I look to myself, I did get into a master's program in film scoring, despite there being many applicants. I did graduate from said program, and I worked really hard to do so. I have scored plenty of films. I know the films that I have worked on are of high quality, and there's no reason for me to downplay my contribution to those pictures. I can be proud of what I have done, and I know that my music and my skill has a place in this industry. My graduation project from conservatory was a complete rescore of a feature film, and I treasure that experience because now I know what it feels like to do an entire feature film. I know how much work it is, but I also know that I am capable of doing it. So looking at it objectively, I should not feel like an imposter. So how can I fight these feelings? Well, for me at least, I think that my brain has sort of a co-pilot. And I have dealt with him before, and I will deal with him again. And this co-pilot is not trustworthy. So the only thing I can do is to take control and take the steering wheel away from him. For example, if I go to an industry event or festival and I go up to a filmmaker and I confidently introduce myself as a composer, then I will pry the steering wheel right out of his hand. If I then also say to this filmmaker, hey, I loved your latest work. If you ever want to do something together, then give me a call. Then I'm suddenly in control instead of this lousy co-pilot. The confidence to do this comes from what I just did, looking objectively at my skills, my competence, and my accomplishments so far. So write down your skills, list them, read them back, and know that you are capable of, a little bit more than what you have already done. You can always do a little bit more. As long as you do, you grow. I feel that if I want to move up the ladder, I can only do so when I'm confident that I can handle the next step. If I believe that I can do something, then there's no reason for me to deny that I am capable of it. Of course, you should never lie about your experience, but there's no reason to be pushing your own inexperience and uncertainties when you approach a potential collaborator. Now, I don't think this is uncommon at all, especially for creatives in the early steps of their careers. And this has to do with the nature of the industry. You have to have a job in order to get a job. And of course, it makes sense, right? Would you like a first-time surgeon giving you brain surgery or a complete novice carpenter to remodel your entire kitchen? Composers and other creatives are often a bit neurotic and perfectionist, and this is like the perfect soil to culture some good old imposter syndrome. So all in all, I try to look at this as something completely normal and maybe even a positive thing, because it kind of also shows that I care about the projects I'm involved in, right? So I will continue to work on standing up for myself and being confident, because I know when I try to excuse myself, that's only holding me back. I should talk proudly about my previous work instead of downselling it for whatever reason. I know that my enemy is not the standards of the industry, it's my own self-doubt, my own co-pilot. Now, I don't know where you are in your career. Maybe you recognize this a lot. Have you suffered from imposter syndrome, and what did you do to cure it? I would love to hear your comments on this one. If you thought this was interesting and useful, maybe helpful, then you should hit like and subscribe to my channel, because I post a new video on topics just like this one every week. And keep hustling, keep working, be confident, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.